Hello and welcome along to episode 87 of the All Things Leeds podcast with myself, NkGhTg, and joining me remotely, of course, is as always my co-host, Charles Foster. Charles, hello, mate.
Hi, mate. How you doing?
I'm very well. How are you, dude?
I'm good. Pleased with the win, and I'm looking forward to the weekend now for the next game.
Yeah, it was a very good win on a Tuesday night. We'll, of course, be talking about Leeds United's 3-0 win over Southampton. That, really has lifted the mood heading into the Aston Villa game on Saturday, which Charles and I will preview as well later on in the show. We've got a bit of news to talk about as well. So, lots coming up here on the All Things Leeds podcast. Well, as always, let's begin the show by reflecting on Leeds United's previous game, which was, of course, that 3-0 win over Southampton at Elland Road. Charles, the game was quite good in the end, but it was a very nervy first half, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was very even first half. I thought Southampton had a good game plan. They pressed us very well, pressed the back line, and forced us to make, errors when we were passing out and generally make just mistakes in our play, which they then capitalised on and won free kicks here and there and created a few chances. So I thought we dealt with it much better second half. I thought we had a bit more energy, and I thought once we broke through their press and played a few longer balls, we did some proper damage, particularly with the finding Costa and Rafinha on the wings with long balls. I thought we did some proper damage when those kind of long balls came off successfully. But the first half was a little bit tough and a few controversial moments.
yeah, there certainly were. But no, it was a very nervy, first half. I don't think Leeds were particularly good. We did make quite a lot of mistakes. I felt as though we kind of lost a battle in midfield, really. I think it was evident that we missed Calvin Phillips. The first half really was not enjoyable. Southampton, some really good chances early on. And, we kind of got away with it, really. Vestergaard, he had a free header that he headed wide. He really should have hit the target and probably scored that one. How were you feeling early on in the game? Because Southampton did create quite a few decent chances.
Yeah, it was a little bit tense. I felt that we were perhaps fortunate to not go behind in the first half, but yes, I still thought it was a fairly even game. I thought we had a couple of chances as well. Rafinha had that really good one at the end of the first half, where Romeo just made that wonder tackle. Although I do think Rafinha should have shot, sooner than he did, or sooner than he tried to. But yeah, they had a couple of good chances as well from a few set pieces and stuff, which we knew was going to come. The Vestergaard one, and of course the penalty controversy, which I'm sure we'll talk about later on.
Yeah, we certainly will. But I think you're right saying it was even because Leeds created a few chances themselves. Liam Cooper almost scored himself. Fingertip saved there from McCarthy. Roberts as well fired over, and Rafinha probably should have scored that chance. Had all the time in the world. Dallas just set him free. He was 1-on-1 with the keeper. Yeah, maybe should have taken it on with his right foot, but he tried cutting inside on his left, and Ovi Almaveru. Really good last-ditch challenge from him.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best last-ditch challenges I've ever seen. It was phenomenal from Romeo there, which is infuriating, really, because it was a great chance to go ahead, but them's the breaks.
Yeah, it was a very good chance to go ahead. But, Southampton, they had plenty of chances to go ahead themselves. They will probably feel a little bit hard done by the overturned penalty and the free kick incidents. But they shouldn't feel hard done by because they tried to cheat, basically. So the penalty first. So Diego Llorente makes zero contact with Nathan Tella. He falls down like a sack of sponges, just dives. Llorente makes no contact with him, but referee Andrew Mariner still pointed to the spot. But VAR check. Mariner looked at the monitor and then overturned his decision. And the right decision. It was no penalty. It was a dive, wasn't it, from Tella?
It was just a straight dive. He runs along. He's expecting the contact. I think he sees Llorente kind of go in with his foot. Obviously, Llorente pulls out of it, but he stretches his foot out and basically searches for the contact on Llorente's leg and goes down. Referee, I don't know why he gives it, but he gives it. Llorente looks fuming. It goes to VAR. VAR just denies it. Well, it should deny it immediately, but obviously Andrew Marin has to go over and see that he's clearly just booted him in the leg.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that he gave it initially as well, because initially it looked like a dive, like it did not look like a penalty. When he gave it, I screamed at Vitelli, was like, no, that's definitely not a penalty. And yeah, it's good. It's a good thing that it got overturned, because it did dive. But what I don't understand, so Mariner goes over and looks at the monitor, overturns his decision. So clearly, he's felt as though there's no contact there. He's seen that there's no contact there. So surely he thinks that he's dived. So why wasn't he shown a yellow card? Why wasn't Teller shown a yellow card for diving?
It's the same one that we had against with Saka when we played Arsenal, and he clearly dived when Linku put the slight amount of pressure on him. And the referees just aren't booking players for diving. If you don't punish players for diving, they'll just continue to do it. If you don't punish something, it'll just continue.
Yeah, exactly. So, we've seen it over recent weeks, players diving and not getting booked. Yeah, you need to start booking players for diving, otherwise they will just continue to do it and try and cheat and just waste time, basically. So, I was baffled as to why he wasn't shown a yellow card, but good that the decision was overturned. And then the free kick incident. They tried to take a free kick early, try and catch Leeds out, but they do put the ball in the back of the net, but the referee hadn't blown his whistle to restart the game. He wasn't ready. You could see it on TV. He was screaming at Southampton players that he wasn't ready, showing them the whistle. So, he hadn't blown the whistle for play to continue and Southampton to take the free kick. He blew his whistle again before they put the ball in the back of the net. So Southampton were just trying to cheat here.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I see a lot of Southampton fans complaining and saying, you're allowed to get quick free kicks. And I do understand that, but at the same time, he blows it just after they kick off with the free kick, so I can understand the frustration there. And if that was all it was and they'd scored, I could understand them being a bit annoyed. But he even blows the stop play before Jay Adams actually scores, as you've said. So, there's no way that should stand. If the referee's telling you to stop play and then you score and then you're wondering why and surrounding the referee, that's pathetic, really.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't think I don't think Southampton fans and players should complain about that, really, because they clearly, tried taking a free kick before the referee was ready, before he blew the whistle. It showed them whistle. And usually, before games, referees will tell players, all right, when you get a free kick, you can try to take it as quick as you want, but in cases like this, then I will blow the whistle and then you can take it. So you probably told them before, but when this free kick was taken, while they were setting up on my whistle, the referee probably would have told them. But they just tried catching us out, and it didn't work. The referee rightly pulled it back. Southampton, did not get the goal there. We somehow made it to half time at 0-0. I thought Southampton could have well been ahead at the break. They had a lot of good chances, but again, 0-0 at half time. Helder Costa comes on for Jack Harrison, and Jack Harrison had a quiet game on Tuesday night, and he's been off it really for quite a few weeks, hasn't he?
Yeah, he wasn't great in that game, and I thought Costa, when he came on, had a superb second half. I thought it was really good. I thought gave us the kind of pace and the width, and I thought Dallas was finding him a lot of the time, and Roberts was finding him a lot of time in good space, and he was creating a lot of chances. I think he won the free kick for Rafinha's goal as well, right up into the just outside the box. So Costa came on, it was great, but Harrison over the last couple of weeks hasn't been brilliant. But he is a bit of an inconsistent player. Yeah. Always has been during his time at Leeds. He has these great patches of form, then these dodgy patches of form, kind of similar to how Bamford has been in the past couple of seasons. Obviously, Bamford's been a bit more consistent this season, but Harrison's just not been quite at it for the last few games. But so you never know, we might see a change there.
Yeah, I mean, it was good to see Helder Costa come on and do well, because he's been criticised quite heavily this season, especially, with the arrival of Rafinha. We've seen what Rafinha can do, and Rafinha came in for around the same price as Helder Costa, and Costa just doesn't deliver the same as Rafinha. But, Costa came on against Arsenal, scored a goal, obviously, so did quite well there. And did quite well on Tuesday night. Could we possibly see Helder Costa start the next game ahead of Jack Harrison?
I think it's possible. I think no one's a drop. I mean, even Mateus Klick got dropped eventually for kind of out of sort performances, and he was a proper Bielsa mainstay. So I think it's certainly possible.
Yeah, certainly, and I certainly wouldn't argue if Costa did start the next game. Yeah, I thought he played very well on Tuesday night, and Leeds were much better in the second half against Southampton. We of course took the lead 3 minutes into the second half. It was a really nice goal this as well. So Diego Llorente starts off passing the ball out from defence into Tyler Roberts in midfield. Roberts played a really nice ball through to Patrick Bamford, who hit it first time, found the bottom far right-hand corner to grab his 13th goal of the season. Yeah, Charles, a really nice assist and a really nice finish from Bamford.
Yeah, it was great stuff. It was just great play from start to finish. I thought Llorente played that kind of high-risk, high-reward pass into midfield. Roberts kind of gathers it and fires a similar kind of pass to the one he did against Wolves, when he said put Bamford through. But so Bamford was judged to be offside against Wolves, but here he was onside. Great finish right in the corners. I don't think there's much the keeper could have done about it. And great start to the second half. Just lifts the pressure completely. Yeah,
it certainly does. And Tyler Roberts, that's now 2 assists in his last 3 Premier League games. Should be 3 and 3, really. If we look at the Bamford goals that was ruled out against Wolves. But now 2 assists in 3 Premier League games for Tyler Roberts. He's really improved over recent weeks, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been good since he's come in. I mean, he's had to have been, because we've got no Rodrigo at the moment. He's doesn't look like we've got a date when he's coming back. Yeah, as of yet. And Roberts has got a superb opportunity to kind of prove himself as a really good first team player here. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of Tyler Roberts in the next few games. Hopefully he keeps doing well.
Yeah. So am I, and it's good that he's getting assists, because he's certainly not getting the goals. He had a few chances in this game, one in the first half, a couple in the second half as well, which he unfortunately didn't score. Diego Llorente as well. He had a really good chance in the second half, didn't he? But McCarthy pulled off a really good save there. And Bamford, he cleared the ball off the line at one point in the second half, didn't he? Vestergaard, his header. Yeah, Bamford clearing the ball off the line. So it's good to see that Bamford can score at one end and then do the defensive work at the other end.
Yeah, he's clearly got it all, doesn't he?
But no, of course, Leeds United made it 2-0 on 70 minutes. See a break on the counter-attack. Stuart Dallas plays the ball out to the right to Helder Costa. He gives it back to Dallas, and Dallas ends up toe poking the ball into the bottom left corner. I mean, some finish this from Dallas.
Yeah, it was a really weird finish, because I've seen the goal must be 10 to 15 times, and it's still a really strange finish, because he kind of just punts it with his foot. But yeah, Dallas is involved at the start of the move. He kind of finds Helder Costa out on the right wing. Costa kind of dribbles it round and finds Dallas. I think Bamford makes quite a clever run. Is it Bamford or Rafinha?
It was Rafinha.
I think it might be.
Yeah, made a really clever run to take the defenders away.
Yeah, it's Rafinha drags the defenders to make a little bit of space for Dallas, and he just kind of punts it on I think it's the left foot as well. I think he punts it with his left foot. He just curves it into corners. It's a really, really odd finish. But yeah,
it was a fantastic finish from Dallas, and that's his 5th goal of the season. Would you believe?
He must be up there for, obviously Bamford's at least scorer on 13. He must be coming up to top 4 or 5 goal scorers in the team. Dallas.
Yeah, certainly. He's having a fantastic season.
Yeah, it's just weird given he's played quite a lot of it at left back and right back.
Yeah, I mean, he played this game at left back and then finished it in midfield, didn't he? He was playing the game at left back, but then for this goal, he charged forward in midfield, and really good finish from Stuart Dallas to make it 2-0, and a lovely celebration from Dallas as well, holding up a shirt that said Granny Val on the back, a wonderful tribute to Granny Val. And then Rafinha, of course, scored his 5th goal of the season, 5 minutes from time, and a great free kick, this one from Rafinha.
Yes, it was superb. It was a good move leading to the free kick as well. We were kind of getting forward in numbers, and I think it's Minamino just completely legs up Helder Costa right near the edge of the area, and you can see Pablo Hernandez is stood next to it as well. I think it was to kind of give him the confusion, but it seems like Rafinha is kind of the main choice for set pieces these days, and I think it's a case of it's not the greatest free kick in the world. Don't get me wrong, it's a good free kick, but I think it's the case. I think Bamford does something really clever where he blocks McCarthy's line of sight, so that when Rafinha hits the ball, McCarthy only realises which way it's going far too late and can't dive quickly enough to get over there, so he finds the bottom corner. But yeah, it was from the distance it was good, but I think if McCarthy had clear line of sight, I think he maybe saves that.
Yeah, I mean, it was poor goalkeeping really from Southampton's point of view, but no, for Rafinha to get the ball up and over the wall and straight into that far corner, yeah, I thought it was a really good finish from Rafinha. And as I say, his 5th goal of the season, he's got the same amount as Stuart Dallas, which is just crazy. But no, 3-0 win for Leeds United in the end here. Yeah, just a really nice, solid win in the end, really, and it was an entertaining game. I must say, from a neutral, I'm sure neutral would have enjoyed the game. Chances for both sides, end to end at times, and but no, in the end, it was just a nice result for Leeds United.
Yeah, I guess our goal difference back to 0. It's good confidence builder, and we've got a tough run of games coming up, so it was really essential to, I think, go back to 13 points clear of the relegation zone now.
Yeah.
Closing in on that magic 40 points. So it was really important. It was more important win than anything.
Yeah, it was a very important win because, we do have a number of tough games coming up. Aston Villa at home, of course, on Saturday. And then, only 3 games in March because there's an international break at the end of the month, I believe. So, 2 trips to London and Chelsea at home in March. So, it's some very difficult fixtures coming up. So, it was important to get the 3 points on Tuesday. And we did. And, as you say, closing on the 40 points, 135 points now. So, only 5 more points needed for that magic 40. 13 points above the relegation zone, as you say, and it moved us back into the top half of the Premier League table as well. We're 10th in the Premier League table now, which is just great to see, and just a very important win for Leeds on Tuesday. Who was your man of the match from the game?
It was quite tough, this one, because everyone played well. I'm tempted to give it to Stuart Dallas just for playing all over the place, picking up the goal, just being all round brilliant utility player. I'm also tempted to give it to Diego Llorente, completing 90 minutes, putting in a really good shift. Probably should have scored as well. So there's a couple of good options. I think I'm probably going to give it to Stuart Dallas. I thought it was just superb in that game. Yeah,
it was a very tough one for me, but no, I've got to give it to Rafinha. I thought Rafinha was a joy to watch again on Tuesday evening. It was just superb. He won the Twitter poll, the man of the match Twitter poll, by 71.4% of the votes. He's just so good as Rafinha to watch, isn't he? I mean, he is possibly the best signing Leeds have made in my lifetime. Like, he's so good.
We've signed some proper dross in our lifetimes. So, but he's a quality player. He's really good, and he's one of them players I'm really excited to see in the flesh. Yeah,
hopefully, if we're getting him at the end of the season, then hopefully we'll see Rafinha before the bids start flying in the summer, which I'm sure will happen. But no, Rafinha, it was superb on Tuesday. Everyone played well, especially in the second half on Tuesday evening, and a really good game for Leeds. You mentioned Diego Llorente there, of course, his home debut, played the full 90 minutes, which was really good to see. A bit shaky from him, from the start, really, a bit slow, but he grew into the game. And I do think, we probably do need cutting some slack because he's, been riddled with injuries this season, hasn't played much at all, just coming back from an injury. So, I think we need to cut him some slack. And I think that explains the slow start, really. But he grew into it, got into the rhythm of things. And, Llorente played quite well, didn't he?
Yeah, it was superb towards the end of the game. I thought he was really, really defending well. I thought he was demanding a lot of the players around him. And it was him picking up the dangerous passes out from the back that set up the first goal. So, and got himself a great chance at the attacking end of the pitch. I thought he was, defensively really solid. And he's a big unit as well, which means it's always going to help when we're defending. Yeah,
he certainly played well on Tuesday. And Illan Meslier as well, another clean sheet for him. He is now the first goalkeeper under the age of 21 to record 8 clean sheets in a single Premier League season. He's a record breaker.
He's been a record breaker quite a few times this season, I think. And I think it's a possibility he could get to 10. I think we can definitely record 2 more clean sheets this season, in my opinion. I think I'm looking at you, Fulham and Sheffield United, as the best chance we've got of recording clean sheets there. But yeah, I think he's really kind of a baptism of fire here. He's a lot's been asked of him, given his age, and given that keepers his age and normally sat on the bench for years and years and years. So to come in and be a first team keeper, I think he's had a few hammerings. Some have been his fault, some haven't. But I think he's really played on the whole. I think he's played well this season.
Yeah. Meslier has been fantastic this season, considering he's 20 years old. He's had a lot asked for him. He has taken a few hammerings. Some goals that have been his fault, but he'll only just learn from those. It's a great experience for him, and it's been fantastic this season. As I say, 8 clean sheets now, which is just fantastic. And hopefully he keeps it up. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. Is Meslier. A word on the pitch though. From choosing that game, it looked dreadful, didn't it? And players are still slipping and sliding all over the place. I cannot wait till the new drainage system and pitch gets put in place in the summer. I really can't.
Well, yeah, I think the club are definitely going to sort it out in the summer. I can't see a scenario where we get to August and September with the exact same pitch. I don't think it'll happen. But yeah, it's been a bit rough. But I think we're adjusting to it faster than other teams because we're playing more games there. But it's kind of tough that when you've got Bamford calling it a winter wonderland in his post-match interview, it's a bit rough.
It's an awful pitch, really, and can't wait for the new one to be put in place in the summer. But a solid 3-0 win for Leeds United on Tuesday, a very good win, and that puts us in good stead heading into Saturday's game, which is of course at home against Aston Villa. Charles and I will preview that game later on in the show. Well, let's now have a look at some news, and we've got some good news and bad news to go over. What do you want to start with?
I will start with the bad news, end on a positive.
All right, let's start with the bad news then. The bad news is Calvin Phillips' injury is worse than what we initially thought. Marcelo Bielsa said in this week's press conference that Phillips' calf injury could get worse if they time his comeback wrong. So they are being cautious. So Phillips potentially could be out for another few weeks, which is not good, Charles.
No, it's not great. It's just unfortunate, but we'll just have to cope without him. We've done it before this season, and we'll have to do it again. I can understand what they mean, though. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be much longer. They just don't want to get it wrong, and it's unfortunate because February there's been loads of games in February all in a row. So once we get through this, there'll be slightly longer gaps between games, and it'll give a few of our injured players time to come back. And but it's unfortunate missing Calvin because he's kind of crucial to the way we play, but we'll have to just cope without him. Yeah,
it's very unfortunate missing Calvin, but it's right that we're being patient with his comeback from injury, and every other player's come back from injury. It's important not to rush them back so soon, and then you just aggravate injuries and make them worse, and then throughout for even longer periods of time. It's good to to time it well and bring them back when they are properly ready to return, really. But we're certainly going to miss him. We played 7 games without Calvin Phillips this season. We've won 2 and lost 5. So it's clear how important he is to the team, and we do miss him when he isn't playing, don't we?
He's our most important player. He starts all our moves. So we are inevitably going to miss him. He's an England international for Christ's sake. Of course, we're going to miss him in the base of the midfield, but we'll just have to cope.
Yeah, we certainly will. And we have coped well without him, recently. We did well against Wolves, of course, beat Southampton 3-0. Earlier on in the season, we beat Aston Villa 3-0 away from home. So, does the win over Southampton and Villa and, the performance against Wolves give you confidence heading into, certainly Saturday's game without Calvin Phillips and, any other game without Calvin Phillips?
I think having Llorente in there, having another kind of defender available means I'm a little bit less worried because I think we played 3 at the back against Southampton. I think we can always do that again, and that kind of means we don't rely as heavily on the defensive midfield position. It means we can we're generally okay. So that kind of alleviates some of the pressure off it, and I just hope that you can recover over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. I mean, certainly the Levante coming back certainly does alleviate some some pressure. Because even if we do want to go 4-1-4-1 again, Stewart can go into CDM, but Levante can cover at centre back, which keeps Luke Ayling at right back way so much better. So no, it's good to have Levante back and have more options in the defensive places. But no, we still don't have a solid replacement in midfield for Calvin Phillips. And we discussed this in the last episode. It's probably time that we bring in a like-for-like replacement for him in the summer, just for squad depth and cover really. But no, it's good to see Llorente back, and we have more options in defence again now. But Calvin Phillips, good luck to him in his recovery. We're certainly gonna miss him. He's a key player to the team. Very influential. He keeps things ticking over. He's a very important part of the squad. So we will miss him. But even if Phillips is out for a week or two, Charles, he might only miss one game, because after the Aston Villa game on Saturday, we have a 9-day break before we play West Ham. So he could be back for the West Ham game. He could only miss one game.
I mean, that is the ideal scenario, but we'll just have to see how his injury develops.
Yeah, we'll certainly need to keep an eye on Calvin Phillips, and certainly going to be interesting to see how we do without him. As for the other players, 29-year-old Spanish striker Rodrigo is still out, but did return to training last week. 30-year-old Polish midfielder Mateusz Klich is doing okay and has a chance of playing on Saturday. And 24-year-old German defender Robin Koch is due back in training in the first week of March. It'll be very good to welcome Robin Koch back, won't it?
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. We've suffered so badly with defensive injuries this season. It'd be nice to just have them all, back fit. Thought Koch had some great games for us, and also had some not so great games. I thought he's been unlucky at times, really. But it would just be so great to have all our defenders fit and available for selection. That'd be lovely.
Yeah, it certainly will. But we're again probably going to have to be patient with Robin Koch. He's been out for 3 months, so we're going to have to time his comeback well. And it'll take some time, won't it, for Koch to get back into the side if Stuart Cooper and Diego Llorente keep up these performances they've been putting in recently.
Competition's never a bad thing.
No.
Not for places in a football team. So I'd be delighted to have them all fit and available.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, now let's move on to the good news, and some very good news, really. So the UK government has set out the nation's roadmap out of lockdown, and if everything goes as planned, then fans will be allowed to return to matches from the 17th of May with up to 10,000 spectators. That will be in time for the final weekend of the Premier League season. So up to 9,400 fans could be able to watch Leeds United versus West Brom at Elland Road on the 23rd of May. But of course, it can only happen if everything goes to plan. People stick to government guidance and coronavirus cases, continue to drop. So please, if you're listening and watching this right now, then do stick to the guidance, please, so we can get out of this lockdown as soon as possible, really. But Charles, there's now a very big light at the end of this very long tunnel.
I mean, yeah, it provides a bit of hope there. Whether or not everything will progress as the government now are expecting it to is another matter. But should everything go to plan, that is a great. Along with the Euros, allegedly being completely held in England as well. It's some good news on the football front.
Yeah, certainly is. There's a lot of good stuff to look forward to, really. And if 9,400 fans are able to go to the West Brom game on the final day of the season, I mean, what a day that will be for those going. I mean, what an atmosphere it's going to be.
Well, yeah, it'd be fantastic. I won't be there because I'm no longer a season ticket holder. But you've got the chance of getting on the ballot.
Yeah, I mean, so is that who you think tickets will be given to, season ticket holders?
Yes, I think there'll be uproar if it's not the case. I think it'll just be balloted for 10,000 season ticket holders. I don't think anyone can really move at that.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be any argument if, season ticket holders do get priority. There's over 20,000 season ticket holders, and yeah, if only 9,400 fans can go, and then that's half of the amount of season ticket holders there are. So I don't think many can argue if season ticket holders do get priority, because we've already paid money for to go to games this season. So but I think even people without a ticket, Charles, will probably head down to Elland Road just for the atmosphere. I mean, I know I certainly would. If I don't get a ticket, I know I certainly would want to just go down and just experience a match day again outside the stadium.
Yeah, I mean, if the pubs are open, I'd definitely go in the pub near to the ground.
Certainly,
yeah.
I mean, I've just missed the whole match day experience, as I'm sure many have. So if that does happen, then what day that is going to be. And finally, Marcelo Bielsa spoke recently about his future at Leeds United. He said, "I don't imagine my professional future. Nothing is better than what Leeds represents as a job. If the club wants an answer before the end of the season, I will respond, but I will tell them they should consider what happens in this period. I would not consider any alternatives until my job with Leeds is done." And Bielsa also dismissed the idea that because he hasn't committed yet means that he doesn't want to stay. He's dismissed those ideas. Charles, what do you make of Bielsa's comments?
Just really nice to hear him speak so nicely about the club, about he complimented the area, Leeds, Yorkshire, and I think he sees it as a great project. His most fascinating line was his line when he was talking about the he doesn't consider his job at Leeds to be done yet, and I'm quite curious to find out what he means by that. Whether he means having Leeds fans back in, seeing them play in the Premier League, whether he means touching the European spots. So I don't know what he considers job done. I'm excited to kind of find out.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting as well, hearing him say that, because we've won promotion back to the Premier League for the first time in 16 years. You would have thought that would have been the main big job that he was brought in to do, but to say that he doesn't consider the job at Leeds done. Yeah, very interesting and very exciting, really. It's going to be interesting to see, what he does consider a job done at Leeds United, what he is aiming for. Yeah, very, very fascinating. I also like how he says that he's not going to consider any alternatives until the job at Leeds is done, which is just reassures us that, Bielsa probably won't be tempted, if Arsenal sack the manager, or, Manchester City, Man United sack their managers and they come calling for Bielsa. He won't be tempted, by the moves. He's never struck as that type of person, has he? He's never been tempted by money and a chance at a so-called bigger club. He's invested in in the plan and the project at Leeds.
I think he's just very comfortable in the job, and I don't think there's any other club, any of these big, massive behemoth clubs, that are going to give him the control over the team, over the training practices, and the kind of free reign that he gets from Radrizzani and Victor Orta and Angus Kinney. I don't think anyone else is going to give him that kind of free reign in that kind of high level of a job. And he can see the potential of the club if it's invested in correctly, if it's coached correctly. So I think he likes that. He likes the opportunity. I don't think he likes I don't think he'd enjoy doing what Guardiola does, where he just goes to Munich and goes to Barcelona and goes to Manchester City and just has all the most expensive players in the world. I don't think Bielsa would find that a great challenge.
Yeah, no, he invests in clubs projects, doesn't he? And he wants if he wants the training ground redeveloped, he wants those assurances from the board, and the Leeds United board, the club, they've given Bielsa what he wants. They've redeveloped the training ground. Elland Road, there's redevelopment plans there. A new training ground, is going to start being built in a few years. So the club are giving Bielsa what he wants. He doesn't want money. He's not bothered. Like, last summer, Angus Kinney coming out in interviews saying, Bielsa still hasn't signed, but, he's planning on the next season. He's not bothered about, whether he's tied down to a job and, being paid. He just wants to focus on just getting some good work done. He's a fascinating character as Bielsa.
Yeah, he makes all of our live football lives, at least, a lot more interesting, and I think the club are going to be a lot poorer, and we're all going to be a bit poorer when he leaves.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to think about the day he leaves, to be honest. I really, really don't, because yeah, that's going to be a horrible day. I mean, I really do love Marcelo Bielsa. He's really changed the club and the city for the better. He's done a phenomenal job at Leeds United, and yeah, hopefully he stays forever and ever. But he does seem to like Leeds. He's happy at Leeds. He's comfortable here at Leeds. He's enjoying working at Leeds United, and yeah, it's great to hear him, speak out about the job at Leeds, how much he likes it, and the fact that he won't consider any other opportunities until the job at Leeds is done, which is very exciting. Bielsa, though, he is 65 years old. Could you see Bielsa retiring at Leeds?
If Roy Hodgson can be a manager until he's 73, Bielsa can be a manager until he's 73. I think he's that kind of guy. He's a complete workaholic. I think he would quite happily just do it for the rest of his life. I don't think he's really interested in, as much as I'm sure he probably enjoys red wine. I don't really think he wants to go sitting in Argentina drinking Malbec for the next 10 years. I think he'd much rather be stood in the pissing rain in South London at Crystal Palace. That's just the kind of strange bloke he is, and I can respect that. I've got a lot of time for that.
Let's now have a look ahead to Leeds United's next game, which sees them host Aston Villa at Elland Road on Saturday. The game kicks off at 5:30 p.m. and is live on Sky Sports. Charles, I'm actually really looking forward to this game. Are you?
Yeah, yes, I am. Yeah, it'd be fantastic. Getting close. I really just want us to get to that 40-point mark so I can completely and utterly relax and just watch us go out every. Those games in April where we're playing all the kind of top 4 teams in the league in a row. I would quite happily just have us on 40 points, just going out there and just thinking there's zero pressure on this. We can just play however we want and hopefully get a good result and without having to worry. But yeah, it's a great opportunity to pick up 3 points. I think Villa are a little bit out of sorts. They're missing obviously the diving X factor that is Jack Grealish. And they're still playing, El Mohammadi at fullback, even after Kemal Roof tore him a new one a couple of years ago. So, I think there's definitely a chance to get something.
Yeah, yes, there's certainly something in this game for Leeds United. It's a very good chance to get the 3 points, as you say, and yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the game. It's always fascinating against Aston Villa, isn't it? When you look back at recent years, that 3-2 win at Aston Villa, 3-0 early on this season, that 1-1 at Elland Road as well, where Bielsa just gifted them a goal. So it's always a fascinating game against Aston Villa, and I am looking forward to this game. And Villa, they play decent football, they're consistent as well, and having a really good season as well by all accounts. Because of course they just survived last season, but this season Dean Smith's side at 8th in the Premier League table on 36 points, just 1 point above us. Though we have played 2 more games than them, but I am quite surprised that we're just below them, considering how Aston Villa started the season. They were knocking on the doors of a European place early on in the season. So it just shows how good we've done this season.
Yeah, it seems like Aston Villa have had games in hand over everyone else for the entire season. I don't know if that's just me. It seems like they've constantly had 2 or 3 games in hand. Are they deliberately not playing games so they can just say, "Oh, we've still got 3 games in hand"? Yeah, they've had a good season. Kind of annoyingly so, but they kind of dropped off in recent weeks. Obviously, they got slapped by Leicester, so there is some frailties there, and I do think they're a bit like us. They're not quite good enough to get hit that kind of top 6, top 7, and I think they'll probably finish similar to us between kind of 8th and 12th. I think they're in that kind of band of clubs. Yeah. But so I think it'll be a fairly even game. But in general, they're missing their key player. We're missing, a couple of our key players. So it'll be a difficult. I think it's a difficult one to predict. I think it'll be fairly even.
Yeah. So do I. I think it's certainly going to be a really good game, and yeah, two sides who fairly inconsistent scores throughout the season, similar sort of positions. So yeah, it will be a fairly even game, I think. You mentioned there Villa losing 2-1 at home to Leicester in their last game, and yeah, they are without Jack Grealish, one of their, if not their best player. He's certainly I watched the game against Leicester, and Aston Villa just they didn't really have anything going forward without Grealish. So yeah, he's a big loss for them.
Yeah, that's the worst part about Jack Grealish is that he's actually quite a talented footballer. It's just if he could cut out his attitude and his diving antics, he'd be, he'd be a really well liked footballer. But he's just, yeah, he's been good for them, and he'll probably get taken to the Euros as well. But them missing him, it's a big loss, and they lose something huge when he's not in the side. Similar to, we miss Calvin Phillips for different reasons, but Phillips is probably just as important to us.
Yeah, certainly, and it's going to be interesting. Villa playing without Grealish. He's out for a few weeks as well, so that's going to be interesting. But Aston Villa, they still have some good players though who can cause us problems. Ollie Watkins, who is their top goal scorer this season with 12 goals and 2 assists. Ross Barkley with 3 goals and 1 assist. Tyrone Mings as well in defence, who is knocking on the doors for an England call up. He's a decent defender, so it certainly will be a tough game on Saturday, and Leeds are going to have to do something special to win this game.
I'd love if Bamford got another hat trick though. If Bamford got 2 hat tricks against Villa in the same season, that'd be amazing. But yeah, I think it's possible. I think it'll be. Yeah, I don't think it'll be that easy. I think it's going to be fairly even. With it being at home, we're generally better away. But then again, last time we predicted a game, you got it right and I didn't. So I think I'll defer to you.
Yeah, I mean, I predicted a 3-0 win over Southampton, and of course we beat Southampton 3-0. So hopefully I get this score prediction right as well. But I do think Leeds have a very good chance of winning. We do kind of need to win. As you say, get to the 40 points, the magic 40 points as soon as possible, really. But no, you consider our next few games. 3 games in March, 2 trips to London, where we haven't won in London since December 2017. So and a home game against Chelsea. So 3 very tough games in March. So it's very important to we're at home against a side who are around us in the table. It's a very good chance to get 3 points, move close to 40 points. And it's important to get 3 points heading into, a tough run of fixtures in March.
Yeah. We just need that pressure taken off us. I mean, I think it'd be, given Fulham's fixtures, I think it'd be a kind of minor miracle if they managed to escape relegation, to be honest, even though they are in good form. So I think we're more or less there, but we just want to make sure of it.
Yeah, we certainly do want to make sure of it. Of course, no Calvin Phillips for this game. So would you keep the lineup unchanged from the Southampton game?
I don't know. I'm thinking about the Costa Harrison situation, whether or not to start Elder Costa, or whether or not to kind of do what we've been doing in recent weeks, whether it's give Harrison the first half, Costa the second half, or the Costa's maybe better just being the impact sub. I don't know. I think I'd probably keep it the same.
Yeah. So I mean, I think if you start Helder Costa and you start Rafinha on the left, and for me personally, I think Rafinha is miles better on the right, cutting in onto that wicked left foot of his. So yeah, I'd probably keep it unchanged. But if Jack Harrison's not having a good game, then you can always switch it up at halftime. So I probably would keep unchanged. And I mean, we beat Southampton 3-0. Why change a winning formula, as to say? I certainly think Costa's in for a shout, but I personally would keep it unchanged, really. Now, Leeds have a fantastic record against Aston Villa. Just 2 defeats in the last 14 meetings, with 6 draws and 6 wins. Villa haven't won at Elland Road since December 2000, when they won 2-1. So they haven't won at Elland Road for a long time, and I'm quite surprised that we've got such a good record against Villa. Of course, we're beaten 3-0 early on in the season, and we were without Calvin Phillips for that game. So can we beat them again without Calvin Phillips? What can you see happening in this game?
You asked me for my prediction now?
Yeah. What do you see happening?
I'm going to back us to win this one. I do think we're going to win it. I think it's going to be a marginal win, though. I think it's going to be tough. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win.
2-1. Yeah, I certainly think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be, a really good game. I think, Aston Villa will have chances. We'll have chances. I don't think it's going to be as, quite as convincing as what it was early in the season. I don't think it's going to be another 3-0. But no, you say 2-1. I'm going to go 3-1. I'll go 3-1. I reckon we could grab a few goals.
I hope you're right again.
Yeah, so do I. And hopefully Leeds United can get the 3 points on Saturday. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 87 of the All Things Leeds podcast. Thank you very much, as always, to Charles for joining me.
Thanks for having me on, mate.
No worries. Appreciate you joining me as always, mate. And thank you as well to everyone who has watched or listened. We really do appreciate it. Make sure to follow or subscribe on whatever platform you're on right now. If you have an Apple device, head on over to it. Go on podcasts and give us a 5-star rating. That would be very much appreciated. Share the podcast around as well. That really does help us out. And make sure to follow All Things Leeds on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Search All Things Leeds 1 on Twitter and Instagram. Search All Things Leeds on Facebook and on YouTube. Give us a subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. But Charles and I will be back next week. So for now, take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.